I know how to use it. Mostly. I figured out over the course of my lifetime that there are some occasional decisions, oh, say once a decade, where they weren't very well thought out. Which means any action that takes place based on that decision is also not very well thought out. And anyone who's witnessed one of those actions that wasn't very well thought out, mostly they're more honest than kind. Sometimes they just make fun of me. I've been trying to figure out how to stop doing this. Here's an example. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a college freshman living in a dorm room 12 feet by 12 feet. And I decide I am just darn tired of having to get out of bed and cross all the way over to the other side of my 12-foot by 12-foot dorm room to turn off my Radio Shack component stereo system before I go to bed. My solution? I'm going to get an on-off switch, a little thumb screw, and install it in the middle of an extension cord that plugs in under my bed and goes all the way to the other side of that 12-foot dorm room to the stereo. Got my wire cutters, got my thumb screw, and it wasn't until after I cut the cord that it occurred to me that I probably should have unplugged it first. I was a theater major. I was not. My roommate, Kathy, is laughing up a storm, and she looks at me and says, "Ha! Good thing you're cute." Well, it probably was, because it took me a minute to figure out what she meant. Oh, I get it. If I'm going to do something really stupid, at least I can look good doing it. 10 years later, I've now been involved in my career of choice television broadcast for several years, helping to put on TV news shows, which includes television sportscasts. And even after a few years of doing this, I still didn't know all the names of the sports teams, let alone what sport they played. I am not a spectator sport fan. So after a few years of working in Seattle at Como, I finally am comfortable enough to say to one of the sports staff, "Hey Rick, why is it that sometimes the Mariners wear white uniforms when they play, and sometimes they wear blue?" For those of you who are not sports initiated, that's kind of like asking somebody how to turn on a light switch. Rick is a very nice man, and he just laughed at me. And then he told me why. Home or away game. I should have figured that out. I thought it was funny. So I go home and I tell my husband, "Ha, I can't believe I did this." And he channels my roommate Kathy from 10 years ago and says, "Ha, good thing you're cute." Now I'm thinking, oh, if I'm going to be dumb, at least I can be slightly redeemed by being good looking and improving my surroundings. Okay, 10 years later. Now it's the early 90s. I'm starting law school. 5 days before law school starts, I buy my very first computer. A 28640. That's powerful. I'm never going to have to buy another computer again. It's so powerful, I'm completely intimidated. And I asked my ex from 10 years ago to come over and help set it up so when you turn it on, it boots up Windows and that's what's on your screen. He does that and I'm all ready for my first legal writing project. It's supposed to be double-spaced. I don't know how to do that. I only had the computer a week. However, I'm not going to let technology get me down. No way. I'm in law school. I can figure this out. I put a return at the beginning of every line on that paper. It worked. The paper looked double-spaced. I'm thinking, I'm pretty smart. Matter of fact, I'm so proud of myself, I'm even going to go back and tell my ex. I can tell you're saying, why does she do this to us? I went back and I told my ex what I did. And he channeled himself from 10 years earlier. Good thing you're cute. I've now figured it out. And I'm here as a public service to all of you, so you don't have to figure this out. The next time you say or do one of those once-in-a-decade, unbelievably dumb things, don't wait for somebody else to say something. Redeem yourself. Get those shoulders back. Look the world square in the eye and go, ha! Good thing I'm cute.